Hi, everyone. Welcome to Wharton Tech Talks. I'm Steph, your host for today. Today, we are joined by Monica Kahn and Tyler Woods. Monica is the EVP of the creator team at Spotter, a champion for creators on YouTube, providing capital, community, and tools to creators so they can accelerate their growth and unlock their full potential. Monica has empowered creators for over a decade, recognized for her contributions with features at South by Southwest and accolades from Fast Company and Forbes. With a background that spans across Meta, YouTube, Apple, and more, Monica's leadership is shaping the future of the creator economy. She holds an MBA from UC Berkeley's Haas School of Business. Tyler is the director of creator community strategy at Spotter, passionate about storytelling, media, and technology. With experience across iconic tech companies like Meta, Google, and Yahoo, Tyler is known for his ability to create cutting-edge content, forge strategic partnerships, and develop innovative solutions to complex problems. Tyler holds an MBA from Wharton. Hey, Tyler and Monica. Where are you calling in from?
Hi, Steph. I'm calling in from San Francisco.
And I'm also calling in from San Francisco.
Awesome. Could you tell us a little bit about what you do at Spotter?
Yeah, I'm happy to. As you said, I'm the EVP of our creator team here at Spotter. I work with our entire creator community, where this really started with creators that we funded through licensing of back catalogs on YouTube. That's how Spotter really came to be. And I joined in early 2022 to think about how we can offer creators more than just capital. We built a community team to support those funded creators in other ways. We really leaned into data and insights, given our access to data and how we price out libraries, support the back catalog licensing, to then use that in different ways to help creators and how they program their channels. So data analysis to support them and how they think about upload cadence and retention and packaging strategy. There's so many different ways that creators could be leaning into data, and there's only so much information that they get from YouTube directly and other platforms. So how could we provide another layer of white glove support and customizing those analyses for them? That was an easy way for us to lean in. And building trust with different creators we had funded through the community team, we then really started to think about, well, how can we also, as a connecting force, bring creators together? Because the magic really happens when creators learn from each other. So how do we do that through events that we bring creators together in the form of a small group dinner or a summit that we organize, or going to an industry conference where we have a presence? So then we thought about events as a way to bring folks together, but not just to bring creators together, but also to bring creators together with experts in the industry. That's something we've really leaned into in the past year, to really think about how we could bring those experts to creators and how experts can advise them in deeper ways around content strategy and storytelling and titles and thumbnails and all of those things. On their own, may be difficult to get access to an expert like that. Because of the partnerships we're able to forge, have been able to provide that as a service to our entire creator community. In the last year, we've been really able to evolve our team, and that we've invested on the product side and building AI tools for creators. And in building those tools and socializing them with creators, we've not only socialized that with our funded creator community, but also creators we haven't funded yet. And what we found was that creators were really excited about the tools and even excited about community as well, even if they weren't quite ready to take a deal on the capital side, and instead actually support them already with other offerings early in the journey with Spotter. That's been an amazing way to really expand our universe of creators we work with. So now we've really become this large creator team supporting this creator community. Some creators have taken capital, some creators are leaning into the community side, some creators are leaning to all of the things plus the tools. But it's been really exciting to really be the team owning that relationship across the journey to make sure that we're meeting their needs where they are and supporting them in the best possible way that works for them.
Awesome. What about you, Tyler?
Yes, as Monica mentioned, my role is really supporting a lot of the initiatives that Monica just spoke about. So when I joined, similar to Monica, 2022, actually same week, and had the mandate of finding out all the additional benefits that we can provide to the creators outside of just capital. And with Monica standing up the community team and all the benefits that we are exploring, from expert advising to in-person events and experiences that we can help to forge relationships between the creators as well as our relationship with them. It's been really amazing to see how much value we've been able to provide them over the last 2 years, and using the feedback that we've gotten from them at these events to inform other priorities or initiatives that we want to take on as a company. As Monica mentioned, our foray into AI tool development and finding ways to help creators manage the new technologies that are incoming and really affecting the media landscape overall. So that's been very exciting for us.
Great. So it's clear that Spotter supports YouTube creators by not only providing funds, but also providing that sense of community and access to insights so that they can grow their brands. For listeners who may not be as familiar, can you share how Spotter's approach to supporting creators differs from, say, creator agencies or traditional talent management agencies?
Yeah, I'm happy to take a stab at that. I think from our perspective, we've really wanted to center how we support creators around what their needs and pain points are versus coming with a product already that we think what they would need. It started with capital because folks like Aaron Debevoise, who's the founder of our company, he has been working with creators for a long time and was really plugged into the wide range of pain points that creators faced and saw capital as a way to help creators solve a lot of different pain points at once by giving them capital that helps them sort of have more time to do things, have the ability to scale, get access to sort of knowledge and other things that they wouldn't otherwise get through capital. That really has allowed us to really lean in and put the creator first in that sense. So building our business around them started way back when. Now, once we sort of leaned into capital, we've now layered on the community piece. Once I joined the team and we built out a whole layer around how do we support creators in more ways than just capital, because we're hearing that they need more help. They need help with ideation. They need help with how they program and sort of looking through their data. They need help with just sort of keeping their edge on their sort of business and their content. That's how we came to figure out all of these other offerings, from knowledge to events and experts within community to AI tools from a product standpoint. It's always centered around the creator and how we can be a home for them. And we're so excited now that we offer so many different things. It isn't about one thing and one thing doesn't gate the other, that it really does feel like a suite of different possibilities that if we don't offer it now, we can point you in the direction of where you need to go, or we'll bring it to Spotter at some point. But I think continuing to remain really custom and white glove, that we're engaged in continuous conversations with creators. We're continuing to listen to their needs and meet them in unique ways and make the investments to support that at scale. That is really at the core of sort of what we do here.
With there being so many different categories of creators on YouTube, from gaming channels to food channels to family channels, how do you identify pain points that would serve multiple types of creators, but still offer that customized approach?
Yeah, I can take a stab at that. I think that at the end of the day, when it comes to content ideation, building and managing a content channel on YouTube, building a team to support that, there are a lot of universal things that it doesn't matter what you're creating, you still need to address those focus areas to actually be sustainable in this space. Getting smart on data, getting smart on how do I scale my output, build a team, delegate responsibilities. How do I build a brand around my content? How do I build beyond my content and build product lines and merch and partnerships with brands? All of these things, and I can keep going, are actually universal to all creators, regardless of where they are in their journey. That's how we've been able to find, I guess, a common language with creators for how we speak to them and engage with them and really listen and support them and really build trust over time.
Makes sense. Could you elaborate a bit on your back catalog licensing program, which, as you mentioned, Monica, is really how Spotter came to be? What exactly is in it for Spotter to gain access to these catalogs? What's the value for Spotter? And what does it do for creators as well?
Yes, absolutely. So Spotter was created after our founder and CEO, Aaron Debevoise. He saw the demand and needs of creators that they had in supporting their growth, from their brand to their channel to revenue. And there really was a lack of financing options for them. Aaron founded Spotter in 2019 to deliver a solution that allows creators to remain independent when it comes to their creative freedom while receiving upfront capital that they need to grow. When we do these funding partnerships, we really tailor it to them, to structure it in a way that really allows them to preserve their creative freedom and do what they do best, but take that capital, reinvest that back into themselves, and really sort of accelerate their growth. We provide that upfront capital to creators in exchange for licensing the future YouTube rights from a channel's existing YouTube videos for a period of time. We actually assume the risk of that future performance of all licensed content. While that term is flexible, it is usually around 5 years. The offering is not a loan or an advance, and Spotter does not license the IP or control the channel. Once they've actually amassed new content and a sizable portion of that they actually want to do another deal with, there's multiple deals that can happen for a creator. So for us, being able to get access to that catalog allows us to really support that creator in a number of ways. So we talked obviously about the data and insights. Beyond giving them this capital, we can actually help them optimize their performance on YouTube by doing this deep dive analysis. Getting access to their back catalog also allows us to create this custom product experience on the AI tool side, which we've been so excited to socialize with the creator community. But also we have an ad sales business that has enabled us to forge direct partnerships with brands. And then that allows us to effectively sell into the content we've licensed overall with brands. And then that's also opened up some occasional brand partnership conversations that we're excited to dial up as well. Really, that is that step that unlocks the whole journey for a creator to leverage all of the things with us at Spotter to really take advantage and accelerate their growth.
Great. It sounds really like a multi-stage partnership, which is awesome. Do you have any favorite creator success stories that you can share?
Yeah, I'll step in for that. We do have a number of creators that we've worked with pretty intimately, which is awesome that they've really bought into the partnership with Spotter. So one creator that comes to mind is Kinigra Dion, who we re-engaged after we stood up our community team and paired her with a creator success manager. And we invited her to come out to Vid Summit where she could meet us as well as engage with other creators and industry professionals to help her up-level her content and her channel. By her coming out and inviting her to Vid Summit, she actually found an editor there that was able to really greatly improve the quality of her content and the amount of content that she was able to produce. Another creator that we've worked with is the Beverly Halls. One of the creators, as part of that family channel, Brooke Hall, had participated in our peer group program that we had piloted last year, where we brought together a few creators to meet regularly with one another and share their top challenges and just learn together in this group setting. And from that experience, Brooke was able to dig deep, and she was initially a short form creator or had predominantly done shorts on YouTube, but wanted to transition into longer form content. Through this experience, as well as working with her creator success manager and partnering with our expert advisors that we have available, she was able to put together a strategy for creating more long form content that has dramatically improved the views that she's gotten on the channel, as well as her overall monetization on YouTube. So she's really appreciative of the experience that she's been able to have with Spotter as well. And so we really value those types of relationships where the creators very lean into the benefits that we're providing. And we're also receiving feedback from them of what's working and how we can do more of these offerings to help them approach and tackle the challenges that they're facing.
You mentioned that there are common pain points for creators coming from different genres. Do you see that the needs of rising creators differ from those that are operating on such a massive scale, like MrBeast, who I know is a funded creator on Spotter?
I think it really depends. We've seen it a variety of different ways. There are certainly creators like MrBeast who we work with closely who have incredibly massive teams, but they still are excited about events that we organize in community to bring creators together, or they are very excited about what we're doing with AI on the tool side because we're approaching it in such a custom way. And it's not just a plug and play kind of thing. It is very turnkey for each creator. At least that's what we're trying to do right now. It just really depends on each creator. And in some cases, we'll see that creators that feel like they have a lot of support in-house, they may not need as much help with the data. But then because what we're doing on the AI tool side is so cutting edge and innovative that they still want to get access. So it just really depends. We've seen creators who don't have very large teams but are not leaning in as much that we'd be surprised. But then we have some creators who are just all about everything and taking advantage of whatever we can do. One of the things we've done that Tyler has really helped shepherd is the peer mentorship group that we have called Spotter Circles, where we bring creators together in a recurring virtual forum where creators get to connect with each other and talk about shared problems and get feedback also from experts that maybe join. That was a surprising win where like creators we thought wouldn't want to spend time there did want to have a space like that. So it just really depends on each creator's preference. And it's so important for our team that we're able to hear what their needs are, understand what their preferences are, and just tailor an experience that makes sense for them. There is no one size fits all here. And that's where we're so excited that we have so many different offerings to choose from and play around with to offer them to help them in however they need.
So Colin and Samir noted in 2023 that creators have mostly spent their spotter funds on things like creating new videos and purchasing studios. Have you seen a shift over time in how creators are allocating their funds, especially as we see things like sponsored posts, brand partnerships, and merchandise becoming core revenue streams for them?
You know, it's interesting. I think that we've seen it definitely ebb and flow, I feel. I think where we see most creators leaning in is putting it back into their content, that they want to level up the quality of their content and achieve higher production values. That's usually where the capital goes to. Perhaps it's an equipment or it's an editor to help them sort of package the content. It's usually just an overall leveling up the quality of content. And then we see a lot of them, the production facilities is another space, again, towards elevating their content, which also can be branded content that they create, but just having a dedicated space for creating content and different customizations and sets and whatever they need, all of it in sort of one place. We've certainly seen a good chunk of proceeds also dedicated to folks wanting to launch their own brands and products. So that's absolutely something we've seen. I don't know that we've seen a significant increase in how they use their proceeds in that specific direction. But overall, it seems to be about how do these creators scale their output, level up the quality of their output so that they can actually accelerate the growth of their business and how that content performs. So it becomes this flywheel of growth in that sense.
It's interesting how the bar for content quality is just going up every year. I remember first watching YouTube in the early 2000s and the quality is like potato quality. And now that doesn't cut it.
Yeah, and it's not just the quality, though. It's also the level of spectacle, if you will. Look at what MrBeast is doing with his challenge videos and giving money away to the audience and the viewers. There's just a higher bar for pushing the envelope of what you're actually presenting in the content. And that can be expensive because of the whatever is involved in this from a spectacle standpoint. So that actually, I think, has been something we've commonly seen across a lot of the creators we've worked with and why they need the capital and why they're putting it back into their content.
Yeah, and I can see how that can also put a lot of pressure on creators. And I've seen, as I'm a YouTube watcher myself, a lot of creators are talking more about work-life balance and not feeling the need to churn out new content every week or even every day. Do you see that coming up in the conversation as you talk with creators more? How do you serve the wellness needs of creators in addition to content needs?
Yeah, that's absolutely something that we talk about, especially when it comes to licensing back catalogs. While creators certainly, we want to make sure that they retain their creative freedom when they take capital from Spotter. We do agree usually on a cadence of uploads to support their ongoing YouTube presence as part of the exchange for capital. But part of that conversation is what's viable, what's doable, and we want to make sure that they're leaning into a schedule that makes sense for them and that's not demanding for them. And we certainly don't want to be having frequent conversations about that. But that's where we absolutely appreciate the burnout piece. And that is why we got in the business of capital for the first place. Like, you can use capital to hire a team, to delegate all of the work required to create that content. And what I think is amazing about creators is that they are this one person version of a studio where they have to do the research, they have to do the pre-production, then they produce the content, and there's all the work that goes behind setting up the production. Then they package it, they edit it, then they market it as well. They do the whole sort of supply chain of activity. And that's where capital can be such an amazing resource for addressing like where you need bandwidth. I think that what's been really exciting to see too is like creators are really different and where they want to lean in with capital. Like, some creators actually, they like doing the brand partnership stuff too. They like doing the creating. So they're like, I'll lean more into the brand partnership side. I'll be the talent. But in terms of the creative process workflow, like, I will get a team to support me in that side of things. So it just really depends on each creator and how they want to lean in. But that's the whole point of capital, is to give you that breathing room so that you can scale out, give yourself space and sort of that freedom to do what you want to do, but in like a balanced way. You are your own agent in deciding that. And capital is your way for determining that. You didn't have that capital before. You have that now. Given your current situation where you feel really overwhelmed, it feels like you need to rethink how you do everything now that you've got access to this, and how do you want to spend it?
Yeah, and AI seems like one of those ways that creators are able to get more breathing room to spend time on what they care about the most and build more efficient workflows. Could you share a little bit more about the AI tools that Spotter is launching? And then even taking a step back, how do you see AI as a whole impacting creators today and in the future?
Yes, as we talked about, initially Spotter getting to the capital game was a way of providing creators with more resources, access to capital that they wouldn't otherwise be able to obtain, in a way for hiring their team and being able to scale. We often talk about creators being an inverted pyramid, right? They're at the bottom and everything kind of is built up on top of them, as opposed to maybe a more typical company structure where the executive sits at the top and everything happens below. And the AI tools is really a way for the creators to gain more of an advantage in that content creation. As AI and its potential capabilities are top of mind for creators, Spotter is merging its unique knowledge of YouTube and technology to build that suite of tools to help with their creative process. So everything from ideation to packaging to research and just the workflow overall is how we are thinking about our tools and what we are developing so that creators can ultimately create the best YouTube videos. We know that as far as making sure that the creators are at the center of that development process, we are taking advantage of the community that we've built by soliciting their input and their feedback so that these tools are meeting their needs exactly as they expect them to. And we are prioritizing the feedback that we're getting by hosting listening sessions and focus groups and informative events with creators. They are helping us to demo and test these tools and giving us really valuable insights into how they plan to incorporate these new technologies into their own workflows and what they're already potentially using in the market, and how Spotter can take that and make it even better. We are definitely excited for what's to come with the tools that we're building, and we'll have more on that in the weeks to come.
Great. And can you share a little bit about the reception of your AI tools from creators so far? I know that there could be concerns that AI tools can actually take away from the creativity of creators, but it could also accelerate the creative process. So there's a bit of a two-sided view on it.
Absolutely. And also with the insight and perspective of the advisors that we're working with as well, we're really trying to make sure that these tools are not replacing the creativity of the creators, but assisting them and being a partner to them in building those ideas. One of our experts that we've worked with has this phrase where he wants to prompt the AI to prompt him. People use ChatGPT as a way of listing more ideas to get different batch of things that they may not have considered before. Same idea here with the tools that we're creating. It's not supposed to be a replacement for the creator themselves. We know that OpenAI recently actually released, I think probably this week, their text to video tool. And a lot of creators are starting to talk about that as well. So that's something that we're keeping our eye on and just helping the creators to understand how they can incorporate those tools and not be afraid of using them or afraid that these tools might replace them as the creator or replace the content that they're creating. At the end of the day, it's really about authenticity, particularly on YouTube, and creators will always have an edge over AI in our perspective when it comes to that.
Yeah, so looking ahead, what would you say are Spotter's long-term goals and vision for the future of the creator economy?
Yeah, I've said this before, but we're really focused on building the home for creators, and we want to be that ultimate resource to creators. We've seen the creator economy grow massively in the last few years, but what we're seeing right now is not necessarily a ceiling, but a reformation in the space. So for so long, this area wasn't even seen as a career or a true source of income. And now there are finally tools that are allowing creators to pursue their passions full time and really professionalize around content creation. And we foresee a massive influx of creators in the next decade, with content creation expected to account for 1 in 4 jobs. This will significantly shift power in favor of creators, driving diverse avenues for profitability and content creation. So as the space continues to advance, we will evolve with the industry, as we have been with the creators we have been supporting and have had the privilege of being able to engage with. And we're constantly going to be upgrading our data insights, our resources, our funding capabilities to really be the number one resource and home for creators.
Speaking of the AI tools that you launched, not only to your funded creators, but also creators that are not actively funded by Spotter yet, do you see in the future maybe there's like a subscription service that Spotter has for any creator out there that may not be actively funded by Spotter, so that they can get access to the AI tools and maybe extra data and insights?
Yeah, I think time will tell. I think where we're really focused is building trust with as many creators as possible. And we're really excited that we've really opened up the floodgates for our ability to do that. And I think in the coming year, we really want to see how the tools we build and the next iterations of what we build really resonate with creators, what the feedback is that we're getting, to see how sticky is this experience. But then not just the tools, like how are they leaning into community? Are we seeing healthy growth and momentum in our capital business as well? I think time will tell if subscription is something that we want to explore in time. It's obviously something that we haven't done in the past, but we are building this home for creators to be a part of this community, kind of exclusive club feeling. There could be something there for sure, but we'll have to see.
Great. Well, would love to move to the career section of our podcast. First and foremost, what initially drew you to the tech and media industry?
Yeah, I'm happy to take that. I think I've always been excited about the newest thing and wanting to always be sort of early adopter of tech. Growing up, my dad worked in tech, so he exposed me to a computer really early relative to my peers. So I feel like I've always been sort of advanced on that side. But I think specifically, like I've also been like a huge consumer and fan of traditional media, and really recognizing that opportunity for tech to disrupt that with our phones, with the internet, social networking. That was when I really realized that I wanted to be a part of this world somehow. I started out in the banking world, couldn't be further from tech and media, but made it a point for business school to be the way I make that transition. And I still have business school to thank for bringing me to this place where ever since I graduated with my MBA, I have been dedicated and committed to a career in the intersection of tech and media, and I still am here. And it's been now over a decade working with creators, and I'm super grateful.
Yeah, similar to Monica, I had grown up with parents working in tech and growing up in the Bay Area. So technology was always part of our lives. grew up with working on the computer, went to a computer camp actually in 5th grade. So was always just kind of appreciative of technology, but also having this real passion for media and entertainment. I'm trying to understand how to merge the two. And so particularly during college, when I graduated in 2014 and BuzzFeed was really kind of coming into fruition, and there's a lot of real interest in YouTubers and vlogging and beauty content and all of this. And so I felt that I wanted to be, didn't know how, but wanted to be in that space. And I think that a lot of commonality for us in media / tech is that there's no direct or linear path. You just try to figure out how you can make your way into the stream. My way of getting in was first working at a talent agency after college, trying to get my credentials in entertainment to leverage that experience in the digital space so that I could continue to work at that intersection and feel that I was able to be part of both worlds. And so it's been super exciting. And there's things always changing, which makes it a very fantastic space to work in.
Both of you have also worked at big tech firms like Google, Apple, and Meta before coming to Spotter. What exactly made you want to pivot from big tech to a startup?
I think that for me specifically, it was at IGN Entertainment over a decade ago where I was first exposed to the inner workings of creating for and managing YouTube channels, really understanding the data for YouTube content performance and realizing this is a massive space for folks, individuals, and companies creating for YouTube. And I decided to sort of lean into that. I was still very keen to make sure I would have career stability, and I wanted to start a family with my husband. So I saw YouTube as a great place to go to continue my journey working with creators, but still having the stability of a platform and a big company. I think that I found over time working at YouTube and then later on at Facebook that I've always been really entrepreneurial. And I think it's why I've been able to have really great experiences at both YouTube and Facebook, which are large tech companies that allow for really interesting career experiences where you can still be entrepreneurial, but have the stability of a big company. But I think I found myself kind of aging out of it, if you will, where I wanted to do more and I wanted to be empowered to do more, have even more responsibility and kind of take on more risk personally, reap the rewards of what that could come with that. And just being, I think, in the Bay Area, I was in LA as well, being around the tech world of how folks are becoming so successful on that side. I'm like, what am I doing at a big company? I feel like I can do more. And especially working with creators, which I have such a unique trajectory and set of experiences of having been in this, is I feel like there's more I can offer. So when Spotter came knocking, it was just the best time because I'd been thinking about it, even from YouTube to Facebook. I was like, should I stop and think about the startup world? And then I didn't. I went to Facebook. And then even around the time Spotter came knocking, I was already thinking about that. This really felt like the right opportunity that I've been working towards, but didn't know I was. And it has been amazing to now be here and to be working at a high growth startup where I have the opportunity to build a whole team from the ground up and really think about how we need to support creators in this way. There's no playbook. I'm just only going off what I've learned over time and the amazing people that I've had the privilege of assembling around me, like Tyler, that we're really like shaping the future for creators. And I live and breathe that every day and feel like I get to embody that mission every day. And I don't know that I felt that strongly when I was at YouTube and Facebook in the same way. And I felt like if I were to pivot, I'd probably feel that. And it's been really rewarding in that sense.
Yeah, I could probably echo everything that Monica just said. The familiar adage of working at a larger company, particularly in tech, you have a lot of impact. Working at Meta, they really emphasize how much impact you have. You're working with billions of users, right? That you have to understand how even small changes that you make can impact so many people. However, being an entrepreneurially minded person myself, and also that's what really excites me about this space as well, is that a lot of the people that you find in media and entertainment are entrepreneurs in this creative space. When the opportunity at Spotter presented itself, it felt like a very natural transition to go into a space that was really helping to build up a new or evolved industry of what we're currently seeing in media entertainment, with focusing on the entrepreneurial core that is the creator economy. Knowing that we at Spotter can have such an impact on new and developing industry was opportunity couldn't pass up. And that was super exciting. We really do share this passion for creators, and the creators that we work with, they are at the core of everything that we do. And it's amazing to have that perspective at a company where you feel very focused on what value you're trying to bring to the partners that you're working with, compared to previous companies where you have many different things going on. You can really shape your career, and it's great for just learning and understanding all the different parts and components that can be in big tech, but then using that experience to formulate how you want to grow your career going forward, having new responsibilities and going from truly 0 to 1 is something that I know I was not going to be able to necessarily get in my previous roles, but here at Spotter I've definitely been able to lean into all of the new and exciting things that we've been able to do over the last few years.
Yeah, and I imagine being on the community side of things, you are like interacting with the creators themselves. So I imagine like you can really feel that direct impact.
Absolutely.
When it comes to building a successful career in tech and entertainment, are there any skills that you think are actually underappreciated or underemphasized that people should focus more on?
Yeah, personally, and probably this comes from my background, having started my career as a Hollywood assistant. They are notoriously at the bottom of the totem pole in the industry, but you learn a lot of humility. And I think that that's something that I wouldn't say is underappreciated, but it's definitely something that is a skill that's very useful to have in this space, because things are constantly changing. You're not always going to be the smartest person in the room. You're not always going to know exactly the next thing to do, but having an awareness of what you can do and what you can bring, and an openness to learn, really does set people apart from others as far as how far they're able to take their career in this space. Anytime someone asks me what they can be doing to get themselves into this career path, it's really just being open to learning, and also knowing that you will have things to learn and you won't know everything, but no job is too big or too small. Just being able to roll up your sleeves and get things done is really the most important thing that you could probably do in this type of work.
I think a lot of MBA students today are still looking for jobs in those more traditional fields like banking and consulting. Tech is also up there. But do you have any advice for MBA students or people in general looking to break into the tech and entertainment space?
I think what I've always told MBA students, or even people who are not MBA students and want to break into tech and media, really trying to immerse yourself in the space, in the industry, whatever you are following, obviously staying on top of the news and things that come out. But with LinkedIn now, you have access to so many individuals, and really going through your network of those first degree contacts and things, and second degree, and really just making your way to figuring out the space. Certainly you want to stay on top of it from an industry standpoint, but the relationships are everything. And in building those relationships over time, you never know what you're going to learn by talking to somebody. And then also every opportunity to learn is an opportunity to impress and to build your reputation and to showcase your commitment, showcase what you do have to bring to the table, even if you don't have the experience in tech and media. And I remember those early days when my background was JP Morgan. I did an internship at Apple in product marketing for the summer, but trying to get a full-time job afterwards, like it was hard because I didn't have that tech media industry experience. So I really needed to lean into skills that I already could say I have, so that I could put that value into practice immediately and support a company and lean in that way. So I actually started out in the beginning in a strategy and business operations role. Because I'd been in a strategy role in investment banking, it was a nice way to sort of transition that functional experience versus having to sort of justify the industry switch. And it was an easier way to land. Anyway, all to say, I think the biggest advice is obviously the marketing around what you're doing and like, what is your story and what is the value that you think you can bring? And don't get imposter syndrome of thinking that your background doesn't look like what it should be. Like, there is a way to showcase yourself and the value, and there can be a way in, but you got to find those inroads. And the only way to find those inroads is by talking to as many people as possible and going far and wide and networking. And as an MBA student, you have this amazing 2-year experience where you're expected to reach out, and people, when they hear from MBA students, like, oh, right, obviously you're doing that. I'm happy to talk with you, right? And obviously it's hard to get those meetings, but that's your chance to use guise of I'm a student, I'm just here to learn. What a unique time to be able to do that and for someone to want to spend time with that person. So that would be my advice.
Super encouraging.
Just to piggyback on what Monica said, I mean, it's all about relationships. So much of it is about relationships. And so one thing that I was thinking about as well when preparing for this conversation is that when I was first considering work in this space, I always wanted to work at a company like Spotter, but Spotter did not exist when I was looking for jobs in companies 10 years ago. And even when I was first coming out of MBA, Spotter had just come around, but the awareness wasn't there. I did not know about that company until a few years later. All that to say is that the job that you're looking for, the company that you're looking for may not exist today, but being able to maintain those relationships is super important because this industry is constantly in flux and constantly changing, that you never know what the next thing will be. But because of the relationships that you've been able to maintain and build over time, particularly during your time in MBA, is so invaluable to making sure that you are aware of those things that will come up that will be once in a lifetime opportunities that you may not know about if not for the work that you've been doing and building those relationships over time.
Thanks for that. I think what I took away from this is like 1, resourcefulness, and 2, relationships. All right. Well, to close off, would love to do some rapid fire Q&A with both of you. First question is, who is a YouTuber you'd love to add to Spotter's portfolio?
I have grown up on edutubers and learning creators. I love Mark Rober and the mass appeal he has across adults and kids. And if there's a way we could get to him, I think that would be amazing.
In that same vein, Marquez Brownlee would be amazing to work with. Makes amazing content and just a real star within the industry. A lot of creators look up to him as well. And so it would be an amazing addition to our community.
What's a non-negotiable in your morning or night routine?
Non-negotiable for morning routine is when I'm home in San Francisco, because I have to travel to LA a lot, I got to wake up with the kids and help get them ready and give them their breakfast. I can't recall the last time I've slept in during that because I just can't miss that. If I'm sick, maybe, but otherwise, I just can't miss that. That's super important for me. I think for nighttime, for me, it's always making sure I know what's happening the next day. I'm just very organized, very sort of control freak, I guess, in that way of like, I just want to make sure I'm prepared for all the meetings, for all the things. Are the kids' lunches ready? Everything good with the kids? I got to feel good before I go to sleep.
Yeah, I would say these days, my non-negotiable is Duolingo because I'm trying to maintain my streak. So mornings and nights, I am practicing my Spanish. But outside of that, during the week for work, as Monica said, I mean, I absolutely have to have an idea of what I'm doing the next day. And I just need to kind of go through a mental checklist of what things need to be done for the next day and going through that. Otherwise, I can't sleep. So just need to make sure that the calendar is all set and ready.
What is your favorite memory from your MBA?
My favorite memory is probably meeting my husband because he was in business school as well. So I will certainly never forget the series of circumstances or series of events that led to us getting together. That was not what I expected out of business school. Amazing outcome and led to a life change as a result.
Yeah, so my favorite memory, I actually have 2 from Wharton. So the first one was Folly. So I was the head writer for our second year, and the show happened right before we had to basically quarantine for the pandemic. And the show ended on a graduation scene and just felt very like, not conclusive, but very ceremonial because we weren't able to have a graduation that year. So it was nice to have it buttoned up and kind of end our in-person experience on a really high note. So that was amazing. And then the second memory is going to Barbados with the Caribiz Club, because that was probably one of the best trips I've ever taken in my life. So that was amazing.
To end off, what would you say is the most important factor that contributes to a creator's success and longevity?
Flexibility. Flexibility, because you need to be prepared to pivot as needed. You need to be flexible about what you think your role is in building out your content and building out your business and scaling. Always remain flexible to be successful in what you're trying to do and to ultimately achieve that sustainability that you want for your career and your life.
Yeah, I would say in addition to flexibility, passion. Every creator that we work with is extremely passionate about their channel and what they do. And it needs to be something that you want to eat, sleep, drink, all of it. So having that drive and fire behind you makes the time and all the things you have to do worth it. So love to see how excited the creators that we work with are about the content that they create. That makes our jobs so much more exciting to see their passion. And I always say that if you're looking to get into content creation, just make sure you're passionate about what you're working on.
I think that's a great parting note. Thanks so much, Monica and Tyler, for joining me today. And we look forward to following Spotter's growth and evolution in the future.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Steph.
Thanks so much for having us.